into with no experience in television whatsoever, and made a tremendous number of mistakes for the first year. I mean, still make mistakes every year, but I think, but hopefully learning as we go and improving things. But we just didn't have any production experience, so we came in kind of knowing how we wanted to write it, but not knowing anything about the casting process, the editing process, working with visual effects, working with a production designer, all that stuff that you need to know, and it's been a steep learning curve.
They would get behind a project and they would give it a solid commitment.
We'd never produced anything for television before. We'd never produced anything for film or internet or anything. We'd written before, but we never produced. So when we went to George, it was probably like that bluff where you mistakenly think you have a straight and you actually don't. But we were so confident that I think we convinced George that, well, these guys seem like they really know what they're doing.
I said, I want it done. I want a faithful adaptation of the books. And they said, that's what we want to do.
Alrighty, well, sorry for cutting off the last one so abruptly, at least the last one of these so abruptly. I apologize. Work on senior thesis waits on no one. My apologies. But making up for it this week, we'll do a twofer. But please welcome my co-host, Neph.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, Neph. Please also welcome Mr. Wolf.
The current Wolf Lord of the Space Wolves is Logan Grimnar, also known as the Old Wolf. He rules from the Hall of the Great Wolf, together with his Wolf Lords such as Herald Death Wolf, Eagle Iron Wolf, and Bjorn Storm Wolf.
All I got out of that was wolf, 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 and wolf.
The Space Wolves are incredibly uninspired.
And we're back with more of this book. Welcome, all ye friends.
Yep. Alrighty, and welcome the living dragon.
Hold on, you're living. That's illegal.
Yep.
Damn.
Yep.
You see the power of breath mint? It's really intense, I tell you.
Yep. We got a few friends here. We got Becca. We got Grant Harper.
Hi, Grant.
Grixu9, welcome. Space Jump, welcome.
Hello, guys.
So for context from last time, what we're going to be doing is the rest of the Purple Wedding chapter, just so it got finished. And we can get finished with that, and then we'll read the chapter after that. Maybe the chapter after that. See what happens. Should be fun.
Oh, hey, Living Dragon, I sent you an email. Mind opening that right quick?
What?
Yeah.
What do you say?
Oh, dear.
I don't know if I'm going to be actually blue screening or if I'm going to be in
Just open that email I sent you. It's really informative.
What?
It probably is.
And it's done transmitting now.
All right.
3, 2, 1. You'll be blue screening any minute now.
No.
You don't have to.
Truth is, I planned way ahead of time.
Wow. Why do I get the feeling something bad happened?
Hey guys. I'm Cecil.
What the hell is that?
You ever see the King Ghidorah 3 head meme where it's that head on the very far left that's just super stupid? It's the one on the far right. And it's just like doing a derp face.
This is me during episode 3.
Yeah.
The last half of the episode was just completely retarded.
See?
And what can you do?
And apparently, he triggered one of my many traps that would render him back into the state.
Alrighty. Well, let's keep going. So, for context, we left off at the Bridezilla. Joffrey is the Bridezilla of this wedding. Makes sense.
I said the David Benioff Y. No, okay, I said the DB Weiss virus.
Yeah. So he's like the Bridezilla. Weddings bring out the worst in people and supposed to be a showcase of his power. His sigil is everywhere. He's wearing his finest clothes. He's invited the most powerful people, and of course, it goes terribly wrong. Alex Graves starts to get weird. You assume that they're going to be weird aired with Joffrey because, by the way they always have. Somebody's always going to be Joffrey's victim. He's a very unstable person. He's like Joe Pesci in Goodfellas. You have no idea what he's going to do. Is Tyrion going to die? It doesn't occur to you that the strongest person in the room is the one who's going to get it. Then Marjorie jumps up with the show's most hilarious non sequitur. Look, the pie! Okay. The viewer is relieved at the arrival of the pastry for a few moments, and that it might de-escalate the tension. It does, for a little bit.
Okay, so I looked up Bridezilla because I didn't know what the hell that meant.
Yeah. Basically a psycho bride who's being super controlling.
Generic term used to describe a difficult, unpleasant, perfectionist bride who leaves aggravated family members, family, friends, and bridal vendors in her wake.
Sounds normal.
Mm-hmm. Sounds about right.
That is the show.
Yeah. So, and Tyrion and Joffrey once again started on Tyrion, ate pie and gulped wine, and then began to choke. Joffrey grasps his choke, convulse, and collapse. A tyrant reduced to a terrified boy. Originally, the death was going to be more graphic. Martin's script for the episode was unearthed in by Vanity Fair's Joanna Robinson, who noted the young king was apparently supposed to slash his own face during his death throes. Yeah. That twist also included setup for Jane Poole.
Oh. Yeah,
frustrating.
That's damning.
Which is frustrating because they apparently wanted, we wanted to do something else.
We want to give Sansa a love interest.
Yeah.
Quote unquote.
Yes, quote unquote love interest. No, fuck yourselves.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
We're gonna get into the seasons 5 stuff, aren't we?
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully. But yeah, it's just frustrating to me because he wrote the script and there's clear foreshadowing in the script, but they ignored those bits of the script.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah,
David Benioff's writing is better, obviously. He knows better.
Clearly.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm. So, Joffrey's death was the most ingenious twist of George R. R. Martin. While the Red Wedding was the most shocking moment in the show, this scene, the fans dubbed Purple Wedding, purple associated with royalty, was arguably more surprising. Usually, the show is very associated with being unpredictable. In the tale, that firmly established itself as being unpredictable and disruption of storytelling patterns. The last thing.
That's not always a good thing.
It became the most unpredictable show to the most predictable show by the end.
Yeah.
That's true.
Well, it's it kind of you can do unpredictable well. You just need to do it very, very carefully.
Yeah, and by that we mean it's hard.
Yeah. It's like it established itself that it's very unpredictable. I think mostly because George R. R. Martin is an unpredictable writer. He's very, very good at writing.
Well, yeah, but Benioff? No.
Yeah, Benioff's just random.
What do you mean? I mean, you need a bad pussy? Like that's some of the best writing right there.
Oh my gosh!
Oh my god, no!
That line is awful. That line is so bad.
And I want to. Just hearing that line again, as I safely made my brain start to check out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the last thing that the characters expected after Butyl Masquerade a Wedding was another major character's death at yet another wedding. In the method of Joffrey's death, poisoned without a clear culprit, denied fans the usual satisfaction of seeing a hero enacting justice upon a villain.
I would actually beg to differ because, well, a lot of fans, if they hate a character enough, will go, I don't care how he died. I'm celebrating that he died.
Yeah, in many ways.
The Mortal Kombat death and that.
Yeah.
How it should end its clip. You see, yeah.
So much true. Up here. Yeah, like there's nothing wrong when constructing clever plot lines to achieve it. It's just you would never expect that.
Yeah.
You never see it coming. It's like it's better that they leave that. Oh my god, I didn't see that coming because I planned for you not to see that coming.
Like fucking Rhaegal's death, I never saw that coming because it was so absurdly retarded.
It's like being surprised at a character that's been beating the absolute shit out of people. Is suddenly a monster.
I literally thought that was a dream sequence when I first saw that. Like, no, that can't actually be real. That's too dumb.
Yeah.
You never see it coming.
Yeah, because Danny kind of forgot about it.
I forgot about that. God damn it.
Well, you see, Danny, okay, listen, kind of forgot about is a poor excuse. What the true matter you want to talk about is that Danny, for some reason, thought that it would be perfectly fine to fly there with her dragons out in the open for Euron's hero buff to kick in, and when hunting dragons to have a stunning accuracy increase of over 500%, and then have every ship within 200-mile radius also gain the same benefit, as well as a damage increase by a factor of
10 billion.
200. No, 200. 200 seems pretty accurate. Since we're multiplying that, and then we're also adding on a small little 50 buff because it is the plot ships. Also, the ballistas have been upgraded severely, so they have a damage of 5,000.
And they also ignore all 100% armor points.
We're jumping ahead a little bit. Let's get back to this. This is actually an interesting bit. That's where George R. R. Martin discusses the historical inspiration for where he came up with this idea. So I based it a little bit on the death of Eustace, who is the son of Stephen, King Stephen of England, who ruled during the 12th century. Stephen usurped the throne from his cousin, the Empress Maud. They fought a long civil war. Their anarchy was going to be passed on to the second generation because Maud had a son and Stephen had a son, but Eustace choked to death at a feast. People are still debating 1,000 years later, did he choke to death? Was he poisoned because of removing Eustace? It brought about a peace that ended the English Civil War. Okay. Eustace's death was accepted as accidental, but I think that's what the murderers here were hoping for in relation to the story, that the whole realm would see Joffrey choked to death on a piece of pie or something. What they didn't account on was Cersei's immediate assumption that it wasn't murder. Cersei wasn't fooled for a second. Mr. Benioff, there was something wonderful about reading the book, The Way Joffrey Dies, because it's completely unexpected. There's no hero coming back to vanquish the evil king. He's not killed really as an act of vengeance. He's killed for purely political reasons. Yeah, that's accurate.
It's well, and
Just the way he says it, it's like, oh no.
Yeah, it's kind of
it
it's
also
that
makes sense that he would die that way.
yeah, because that's the only way you could kill this little brat.
Yeah.
Or just go get one of those season 8 scorpions and just eat them from a mile away. No problem.
Yeah.
We're talking a mile away. That's small, smooth brain logic, dude. You gotta shoot them from over a galaxy away.
Fuck you. Only Euron could pull a shot off like that. That's a 1 in a million.
First season, do it twice.
Yeah. So it's not. There's something anticlimactic about Dan Weiss. The standard move is for you to give you some kind of release, a sense of happiness. The idea that the moral calculus of the world has been made right, and this person who's had it coming for so long has finally gotten what he deserves. It's a character you've despised for so long and wanted to see killed, David Benioff. Yet, what you're seeing is a young man, still a boy, choking to death. It's a horrible thing to witness, even if it's a character you hate. It's impossible to block out the thing inside of you that when someone suffers horribly, we didn't want this to be a stand up and clap moment so much as a horrible death of a horrible person. Yeah, that works. Martin, there's a moment where he's dying, he can't catch a breath, and he's looking at his mother and other people in the hall with such horror and appeal in his eyes. Help me, mommy. And I didn't want it to be entirely hey ho, the witch is dead. I wanted perhaps more complex feelings in the audience. I don't know that we should be sharing. What?
I'm sorry, but isn't Joffrey like fan favorites absolutely freaking hate?
Yeah, well, it's Martin saying like he wanted some more complex feelings in the audience regarding like even the death of, like, yeah, and this is
I can understand where he's coming from, and that must have happened for a few people, but I'm betting the majority of people just went, yes, he's dead.
Yeah, yeah, a lot of people did go yay. Yeah, they're like, and like I don't know that we should be cheering deaths in real life. We don't want 13-year-old bullies to be put to death. Perhaps people do regret their actions, but Joffrey will never get the chance, so we'll never know what he would have become. Probably nothing good, but still. I like how George R. R. Martin puts things. He's actually really interesting. So the episode ends with Cersei accusing Tyrion of killing her son. He's arrested, and there's another twist that takes place off camera. Gleeson publicly revealing on the stage the day he was quitting acting. Oh, Jack Gleeson, the Joffrey actor. The answer isn't quite Jack Gleeson. The answer isn't interesting or long-winded. I've been acting since age 8. I'd stopped enjoying the acting since as much as I did. It was the prospect of doing it for a living, whereas up until then it was something I did for recreation with my friends or in the summer for fun. Acting as a career changes your relationship about it. It's not that I hate it, it's just that it's not what I wanted to do. I also found it slightly uncomfortable to see my face on a bus or poster. I like just being known by my friends and family. That's sweet. That's a good point. Martin, I felt a little guilty when he quit acting. I hope that playing Joffrey didn't make him want to retire for the profession, because he had quite a gift for it. Esme Bianco, Roz, the redheaded whore. I saw him recently. Yeah, he hasn't worked since. It's sad in the sense he's an amazing actor. At the same time, I'm like, you do you. Just do one outstanding role everybody's going to remember you for, and then say next. That was supposedly the end of Gleason's acting story in this chapter and this chapter. Then there was another unexpected turn of event. Just as this book was completed, Jack Gleason, now 27, emerged from retirement and signed and on to a 6-episode BBC comedy titled Out of Her Mind. It was his first thing filmed from role since Game of Thrones, A Return of the King.
It sounds to me more like he just needed a break.
Return of the King.
He didn't retire.
Oh my gosh, this is really funny. His first filmed role since Game of Thrones, A Return of the King.
Well,
play the Fellowship theme right now.
Quiet, Wolf.
Yeah, shut up, Wolf. Well,
who cares?
It sounds to me, less like, oh, I want to retire, and more like, I just need a break from this.
Yeah, I just need a break.
That's what it sounded like to me. So
yeah, I think that like Joffrey is like a particularly vile headspace to be in.
Yeah, and he needed to take time off to get his head out of it because, oh my god, they do method acting.
Yeah, I imagine like he wanted to very much wanted to avoid like typecasting and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, major typecast. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you can feel sorry for an awful person. Doesn't change the fact that the person was still awful.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't change that at all.
Yeah. Maybe.
He still to me actors stay on set.
Please clarify. I'm not fully understanding.
I'm like, what?
I mean, are there more bodies we have to find? Okay, I'm gonna.
Did somebody die on the Beauty and the Beast set? I'm confused.
I mean, if someone did die on that set, we're gonna have to find them.
Yeah. So chapter 15, it's about Tyrion, Trial and Tribulations. Well, I hope that they talk about why they cut the stinking Tysha reveal.
Well, the watch will probably gloss over it.
Yeah, probably, because that's just how this works.
Place your bets, everyone.
Okay, so what is that?
Tysha was Tyrion's first wife, and then of course, he was told the story told that by him is that then they reveal that she was a whore we paid to pretend to love you, and then had him watch several guards have did the naughty with her. And then when she had Tyrion finish it up and then drown her in silver. But in truth and actuality, Tysha really did love Tyrion. It was just that Tywin told Jaime to do so, and then those guards raped her, and then they had Tyrion rape her last.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so essentially, the Tysha reveal is the major turning point of Tyrion's story, where it is the major reason why he decides to kill his dad in the books.
Yeah, in the show it's just because reasons.
Yeah.
Faithful adaptation, my foot.
Yeah, and a lot of Dragon Demands theorizes that it's because of David Benioff's daddy issues that he did that. Because his dad is
possibly his inability to write long-form storytelling.
Well, they actually discussed whether or not to put it in. And they had been setting it up for quite a while. They had been mentioning Tysha every season for the past 3 seasons.
Okay,
even in season 4, they brought her up. They didn't forget about her. They just decided not to do the Tysha reveal. There was an actual discussion of the producer of the writers, and they decided, nah, we're not going to do it. And
Tysha reveal is very important because it takes Tyrion down a dark path, unlike the show where he's just Mr. Perfect.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Well, only part when the plot demands he to be perfect. Other times he's just drunker.
Yeah.
well,
Yes,
perfect
yes,
as in
because-
morals, I guess. That's what I mean. Yeah.
Also, Space Junk about actors getting her on Game of Thrones sets.
Oh, I don't think. Yeah.
I mean, if we find out someone died, then that's like a holy crap moment.
Yeah, I don't think they removed. They've never really revealed why they removed it. It's like not officially. No, most of it has basically been. It's very like they don't reveal why they make their creative decisions. They just say creatively it made sense for us. Is basically the reason that they give.
In other words, it's all bullshit.
Pretty much.
Survey says. Yep. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the main problem is because you have this like these guys who just do random things for the sake of random things, that creates a problem in the narrative because you don't have any coherence. And the reason
no structure.
Nope.
When shit just happens, shit all that happens.
Yeah. There's other planet problems such as like just the fact that you're removing the Taisha reveal really messes up the story. Because
Yeah, and well, unfortunately, they're not like Martin. Martin would have probably been able to do that. But
well, the thing is
Benioff is not Martin. So
well, and the problem is it's just some lines. They don't need to show it. They just need to have a few lines written in the script.
Yeah,
all they have to do is have someone say it.
Yeah.
No, because it'll take away from their emotive performances by not talking.
Which is so strange because if like imagine like Peter Dinklage having to act out that scene from the books, like that should be Emmy gold, where he's like betrayed and he feels horrible. He feels like his world is crumbling because his brother, but like he finds out that his brother was lying to him about his wife, his actual wife, who loved him, and then when his dad found out, he had his wife raped. To say,
Tyrion straight up says to Jaime that the next time they run into each other, he will kill him.
Yeah.
Nah, it'll be fine.
Yeah, he's pissed. He pissed.
Yes, it's small. Like a small boy's angry now.
Yeah. Very, very angry.
Then the show, nah, he's totally fine. Nothing happened. It's fine.
Yeah.
Perfect.
He's
the best moral person ever. He is the bestest ever.
Which is so weird because there is no reason for him to kill his dad. The killing of Tywin in the show very much flies in the face of the
No, it makes sense because he said Taisha was a whore, even though that's true. But I guess he kills him for that reason, for some reason.
Well, the thing. Well, he doesn't say. He just says Shay's a whore. That's it.
Oh, Shay's a whore. I meant to say Shay. That's Taisha.
Yeah, like Taisha, not even remotely mentioned up until season 8, and it's passed off as a joke. He just goes up and shoots his dad. He just goes up for to that place, and just goes up, finds Shay in his dad's bed, while his ex-girlfriend in his dad's bed, and then
no, she fucking starts to try. She just runs with the knife and tries to kill him. Like, what? Why? What are you doing?
Like, what's he gonna?
Why are you trying to kill him for no reason?
Yeah, it's frustrating to say the least.
Because they have to make Tyrion and put Tyrion in a good light, so they have to have Shay try to kill Tyrion for some reason. That's really
as opposed to killing her in cold blood. which is what happens in the books.
And this is just more of rewriting the characters to make them fit the actors instead of allowing the actors to fill shoes.
Yep. We have our final guest.
And there goes the budget.
No, actually, that fits the budget perfectly. We have just enough for any extra clips, the final one. So yeah, perfect within the budget.
Oh wow, let's add to my budget then. I think these other people need a budget cut because they're kind of frilly. I need a bigger budget.
Yeah, we need at least enough to have Dragon this time.
So who's fruity, Wolf or Neph? My money's on Wolf.
Really?
Yeah, where did this come from?
Wait, mate.
I feel like this is came out of nowhere.
Well, I mean, kind of.
Kind of what?
It could just be my perfume.
I'm being a dick.
What do you mean by fruity?
I don't know. He said frilly.
Frilly.
Frilly. Kind of like frills, extra stuff we don't really need.
I mean, I don't really need all the extra stuff. I am a very comfortable person at times.
Yeah. He has his 2 doggos. He can just sleep with them or something.
Yeah.
Phrasing.
Yeah.
So are we doing Dorn today?
What? Are we doing what?
Are we doing Dorn today?
We haven't reached it yet.
We're doing Tyrion. Season 4.
Trial and Tribulation. So Tyrion drank and he know things. Yay.
I literally made that just to put it on a t-shirt.
Oh, for sure. No question. No question at all. No question about that. Tyrion last year drank new things, but he was perhaps more adept at getting himself captured. This is not untrue. The Lannister was held captive 6 times on Game of Thrones by different aggravated parties in season 1.
6 times? How did he not end up dead?
Most of the time he got himself out via trial by combat.
Or he would just say something clever and amusing and people would go over to his side.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh gosh, I remember watching earlier season somehow, a scene from early season, and it's when Tyrion met Daenerys. I'm like, just kill him. This will save us so many problems.
There was a line. One of the funniest lines in season 5, I think, is a Tyrion line, where these pirate slaver dudes are going to cut off Tyrion's manhood because apparently dwarf members have are considered to have magic powers, kind of similar to how unusual people have in some parts of the world have magical properties. So they're thinking, wait. Tyrion's like, wait, just can we discuss this for 1 second? How do you know? How will they know that it's a dwarf's member? Unless you showed that there was a dwarf it came from. Well, it will be a dwarf-sized member. Guess again. Which I was just like, dang. Well, I respect you.
Oh my good lord.
That is not...
That line didn't make any sense to me.
Well, no, he's saying that I don't have a dwarf-sized member. I've got a normal size. I'm very well... He's basically saying I'm well endowed.
Not to put too fine a point on it.
Yeah.
That was just bigger on his smaller body.
Yep. So, Season 1, he's held captured by Catelyn Stark and Lysa Arryn. Season 5, apprehended by Ser Jorah, then again by slave traders. Final season, he's locked up by Daenerys Targaryen. I'm well acquainted with the prop guys who have to handcuff me every 2 minutes. Peter Dinklage clicked on set. Ooh, he.
Yeah, that is rather kinky.
Oh,
So,
hey, Peter, how you doing? Oh, hey, Bob.
Well, the kinky thing was my end.
Are we doing this for real this time, or are we just doing this for off-screen purposes?
Yeah. So, next thing, Tyrion. The best Tyrion storyline, Prejudice storyline, was season 4, where he's falsely accused of Joffrey's assassination. The arc in Thrones at its best. This seems to be coming up a lot. Thrones at its best.
Thrones.
Yeah.
I hear Thrones. I hear Thrones, and I think of Thrones of Britannia.
Probably better than this.
I mean, Thrones of Britannia is it's a modern total war game, so the quality is either or good or just bad. I have been watching playthroughs of it. So
it's probably better than season 8 writing wise.
I mean, you just play random factions of Britannia.
The off-screen quips and jokes are funnier because they don't have to restrain themselves as much.
And they're not written by D&D, perhaps, too.
That is true.
D&D jokes, I would say, comes off as immature maturity.
Yeah, like Sansa and Jon failed geography.
Oh my god, no. No, you don't have to remind me of that.
Nice joke, bro. Hey, I'm done. Nice joke, bro. Look, you got the whole squad laughing.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was so fucking cringe.
Yeah, it is
geography. Look how fucking retarded we are.
They failed at geography.
Hey, I'm going to bet that one of them failed at geography. That's why they made that joke.
Fucking Dave Video failed at geography season 8. Fucking tiny as hell.
Wait, you mean to tell me you're a map in season 8?
It was just like 3 land masses put together. It was just Cersei land, fucking cold place, and
Winterfell,
yeah.
And who cares is in Dorne.
I posted in the server because that's pretty. Technically,
I saw that. That's well done.
Yeah, it's not Westeros; it's preposterous. That's how you can understand it.
You see, they're like little islands, and you could just it's just like a little hill. You go over, and there's like Winterfell, and oh look, there's King Landing right there. You just walk to it.
Oh, so that's why people teletransport so fast.
Yeah, because there wasn't fast transport. It was just a really small landmass.
Yes, what are you talking about? I thought they were all just a couple days walk from each other.
Not a day's walk. What are you talking about? That's like a 10-minute walk.
Yeah.
His eyes uncovered.
Also, like that, the Iron Islands are just called Pirate Island.
Pretty much.
Oh my gosh, I hate that. Like they just mentioned Yara took back the Iron Islands. It's like, and she doesn't play any significant role or doesn't care about Theon's death. What the hell even is this show at this point?
She took back the Iron Islands rather quickly.
Yep.
Because, mind you, even if Euron has over all of his fleet there, he still has to have a significant garrison back there.
Yeah,
that's all. Technically, considering having an island as a defensible fortification is nightmare.
But it's obvious what they do. They just take everything, and there's nobody there. All the villagers, they don't exist.
It's like coastal invasions are fuck you hard. Regular sieges in general are hard as shit, but holy crap, coastal sieges are.
This is
brutal.
What are you talking about? Where anything could just happen on the writer's whim.
Off screen, the greatest friend of Dumb and Dumber.
Oh yeah, that's
hold on there. We can't call him Dumb and Dumber because those two are generally likable characters.
Is it off screen just the best writer?
Yeah. Let's call them Dummars and Dumb Shit.
Crap and Dummars.
Yeah.
Because Dumb and Dumber is actually a good movie, so we can't insult a movie like that with such in heresy against writing.
Yeah.
Heresy.
So,
writing.
So George R. R. Martin's gripping plot dynamics with some of the show's finest writing and performances. That's true.
Oh no, because every time you say performances or something, I'm just getting flashbacks. These performances, these faces, like
it triggers
I keep
us.
hearing.
I keep hearing that, and it's
frustrating.
No. Yeah.
And also, that's a pretty good point you brought up, Valerian, off in the Discord. Cersei is really well liked, despite the fact that she literally nuked the Sept.
Yeah,
she's more like after she nuked.
Yeah, the Vatican is now gone. That's basically
remember season 2 remember in season 2 when the public was pretty much about to fucking overtake the entire throne, but in season 8 everybody's also subservient.
Even in season 7 as well, it's like nobody raises a single eyebrow against Cersei.
Now be fine.
It's weird because
they went from an active crowd to a bunch of simps.
It's weird because at the end of season 5, they still hate Cersei. At the end of when she's doing her walk of shame, they still hate her, don't they?
Yeah,
it's only on paper.
Then she blows up the Sept, and everyone it's like, hey, yeah.
It's like we have a more reason to hate her, but now it'll be fine.
No, in fact, we like her better now.
Yes. Now we listen to her, and we go inside the Red Keep.
It's not even a loyalty out of fear. Like, we don't see anyone being afraid of Cersei. Just they all like her now.
Yeah.
Remember Old Town when it was about to be attacked by a dragon and everybody left, but instead of King's Landing, everybody went inside the city.
Yeah, we should keep going. So, shocking twists, scenes intimate and epic. Interesting way. And story driven by well-established rival agendas of compelling characters. Okay. The quieter moments included a succession of players visiting Tyrion in his cell. Scenes leaned on the season 1's accidental discovery of the power of two-handers. Dinklage's favorite one of these was the most unusual in the show. In a speech penned by showrunners Benioff and Weiss, Tyrion reminisces about Jaime to his simple cousin's predilection for smashing beetles and how he became obsessed with trying to understand the boy's madness. This is Tyrion's mourning humanity's capacity for unfathomable and nonsensical cruelty. That scene was random and didn't have much point. I don't know why it was included.
It was long too.
Yeah, it was long. Why did they just?
I think that beetle, that beetle smashing cousin, is a perfect apt representation of DB Weiss.
Yeah, smashing the fucking universe into oblivion, almost completely wrecking this entire.
I think it was meant to be a meta commentary and just like a poke at George, who's the kid. It's smashing beetles.
Oh,
maybe. Or you can make an allegory for like how the showrunners almost destroyed the entire TV universe of The Song of Ice and Fire.
Maybe. I know that like George R. R. Martin really likes Orson Scott Card. Like it's only like the crazies that hate Orson Scott Card. Orson Scott Card's not that bad of a guy.
Who? What?
The author of Ender's Game, I think.
Yeah, he's a very prolific and influential science fiction author.
All right.
His face was like the page of a book written in a language I couldn't understand, but he wasn't mindless. He had his reasons, Tyrion said. And I became possessed with knowing what they were. I had to know because it was horrible.
Unlike Daenerys.
That all these beetles should be dying for no reason.
And then you never found out why.
In my dreams, I saw myself standing on a beach made of beetle husks stretching as far as the eye could see. I woke up crying and weeping over their shattered little bodies.
You?
Yep, that's what it said. All right. Thanks for reminding me of that.
Ew.
Yeah, just I don't care. I don't care. Why are you having this scene here? Like, I didn't think about it when I was watching. I was just like, okay, just watching silently. And I was just like, why is this here? It doesn't make any sense.
Well, okay, really ask yourself this. James Hibbard wasted footnotes on stuff that barely mattered.
Well, no, he didn't waste footnotes. He didn't use footnotes.
Oh, sorry, no. He only used footnotes for stuff that really didn't matter, and forgot to add footnotes for stuff that really did matter.
He has made certain statements. This is secondhand information. I don't know what he said. I just have heard, like, from certain, like, people on the left that he made really, really horrible anti-gay statements. And when I hear that somebody on the left say that somebody's made horrible anti-gay statements, I'm like, okay, can I see the quotes? And usually they're not that bad. So,
and not only that, but my first instinct when I hear someone on the left say that is to go, "Oh, that's what you're doing."
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So,
with a fucking picture of that guy.
Yeah.
Okay, I looked it up. I'm not trusting Wikipedia one bit, so hell no.
Mm-hmm. I like shit.
Yeah, why?
I like how Blairin still has that freaking Benioff joke we were doing, like the first stream we had.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's keep
going.
going.
Never ends. Sorry.
Let's keep going. So, Peter Dinklage, many of those scenes in the jail cell define the different relationships in Tyrion's life. He really liked the scene with Nikolai where they were talking about the cousin. There's so much in the show that's necessary to push the story forward because everybody is just trying to stay alive. I love the lines about the cousin being a bit thick and smashing the beetles just because it was something from their past. It's like he's in shock. He doesn't know why he's telling the story. He just wants to get it out. Know what's about and what life is about. And it had such an abstract, non-effing King's Landing feel about it. It was such a breath of fresh air. I love that monologue. Whether I serviced her or not is a matter of opinion. Interesting.
Didn't need to exist.
No, it really didn't. Very much didn't need to exist.
Was this in the books? I don't remember.
It was not in the books. This was fabricated for the show.
Oh.
In other words, filler that was unneeded.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
It's not like we could have used that for any other scene.
Keck.
Yeah. Yeah, in a lot of ways. So Tyrion waited in the deep dark cells. Tommen, Dean, Charles Chaplin got to know Marjorie in his posh red keep bedchamber. Okay. Tyrell set her sights on wooing the realm's newly crowned king. But during one scene, her flirtations were interrupted by Tommen's cat, Sir Pounce. In George R. R. Martin's novels, the young king has three Black Kitten, Sir Pounce, Boots, and Lady Whiskers. There's also the thing of Tommen is like 10 or 11. He's a baby.
You don't know how boy kings turn out.
Yeah, though this one's like a mouse. He's a not a very
intimidating person.
No. At least Joffrey has backbone. This kid's like pathetic, and
this kid is basically a choo-choo from.
Yeah.
And choo-choos are jelly monsters.
It's a rabbit. He's like a freaking rabbit without any body.
So far, how far is it worth? Like, how far should you watch it? Season 4 is pretty much
like stop. It just pretends that anything else afterwards is not canon.
Just read the books.
I think you can watch season 6, because season 6 is a relatively satisfying ending, but after that, it's like no, there's nothing.
I always
more
said that
there.
like sometimes like you could just watch the season 6 and just pretend make up your own ending.
It's shit. It's shiny shit, but still shit.
Yeah, season 6 is not. It's better than season 5, season 7, and season 8, but it's not
good.
Yeah.
It can leave a satisfying enough ending to the show. Far better than 7 if you would leave it off at 7. Especially me. I fucking hate season 7 because of that White Hunt episode.
Oh yeah, the
because he
White Hunt
died.
is so bad. The White Hunt's so bad.
Gentry managed to make it all the way to the wall just in time.
It's not because I died that episode. It's not because of that at all.
The premise is absolute rot. That's the main problem with it.
Oh, I know. If I can give Cersei a white so we can. So dumb.
It's like you just needed to grab the wand and then head back north. Just head back south. You didn't need to do all this.
But the problem is, showing Cersei a white doesn't change anything.
Why bother?
It's like just send dragons up north and burninate them all.
Oh my god! I keep saying that like
countryside, burninating the peasants.
Burninate their thatch huts.
All Daenerys had to do at the big.
Yeah.
All Daenerys had to do was take King's Landing right at the beginning of season 7.
Yeah, that would have solved so many problems.
It's like what does Daenerys have? Dragons. What she just need to do? Just go to the Red Keep, burn Cersei. Done.
Yeah.
No, because of some stupid moral thing Tyrion has for no fucking reason.
Yeah, because Tyrion Lannister says, "I wish I could make you swallow a whole vat of poison because I hate you people so much."
Nah, he feels sympathy for them now. It's like so fucking contrast because like in the Battle of Blackwater, he blew up like the entire fleet with fire. He's like, yeah, this is fine. This is my accomplishment.
It's like
in season 7, he's like, yeah, I did that. And then
like,
later in season 7, when during the Battle of Girlworld, he's like, oh no, people on fire, how horrible.
Yeah, double standard much.
Yeah, it's like only I am allowed to commit the war crimes.
The frustrating thing about the frustrating thing about the Marjorie Tommen relationship is kind of that they lied to Natalie Dormer about like what happens in the books.
I know. I thought she was going to have so much more importance, and when the Vatican blew up, I'm like, what?
Oh no, that's not the case. Like you remember the you remember the bit where what was it? What was it? I think you remember like the scene where they're just lying in bed after apparently having done the nasty. Natalie Dormer was like kind of uncomfortable because like the kid supposedly like the kid playing him is like 17, she's like 36 something.
Yeah, that would be very, very uncomfortable to any teen. Well, anyone, even.
Yeah. And a big problem is she was willing to do it only because she was told it was in the books. And she hadn't read them. And it's just like she, I think, it was like on audio commentary, and David Benioff and D.B. Weiss never, ever corrected that, which is just like, wow, I hate you people. I hate you people so much.
So this is another case of filler?
No, it's changing the story and lying to your actors.
Okay, what's the source for this again? Is this in the Blu-ray collection?
It's in one of the public commentaries for the episode, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yikes! That makes it even worse.
Yes, it's on the DVD commentary. It's not even like something that you can like pull out of like it's something you like. It's not an written interview. It's the commentary of the episode.
Okay, so at that time, she was 16 years his senior.
Yeah. Yeah, it's frustrating. Yeah.
Mm.
And like it's filmed relatively respectfully. But it's just like, wow. You actively lied to your actor. That's frustrating.
And it certainly is consistent with Dilmar's and dumb shit's character.
Yeah.
You dumb fuck jerks.
Yeah. So like we have like I have actually listened to that commentary track and I'm just like, wait, what? You did? Wow. Okay. So okay, so keeps going. Co-producer Brian Cogman thought it would be fun to have one of the cats and make a quick cameo. Brian Cogman, co-executive producer. Sir Pounce was in the outline. I said, Dan, I'm putting Sir Pounce in the show. Okay, funny, I guess. Please clap. The idea was simple. Tom is in bed. Marjorie sits next to him by candlelight. Romantic tension rises. Then the cat comes onto the bed. Pounces, if you will. Then Tom says a line that Sir Pounce and Marjorie pets the cat as they continue to chat. All the cat had to do is jump on the bed and then stay relatively still. Sir Pounce was supposed to be a dainty kitten. Then this giant cat showed up, and then the cat wouldn't do anything. Take after take, the cat team could not convince the cat to jump onto the bed on cue.
Well, of course not.
Eventually, an off-screen crew member had to toss the cat up from the
Oh my god!
And did the cat immediately jump off again afterwards, I assume?
It's like, we never got Brian Cogman. We never got the shot. You never see a shot of him jumping on the bed. He just appears on the bed. We never got a shot of him pouncing. To be fair, cats aren't famous for taking direction.
Cat, any animal can be trained. You just have to, actually train them first before you do anything with them.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, oh yeah, some explosives get CGI bad, practical good, and so on.
I don't think that it's CGI bad. I think it's just cheaper to film in camera as opposed to CGI.
But they fucking smuggled explosives in. Jesus fucking Christ.
I mean, CGI is technically more legal than than smuggling explosives. So.
That's true.
Yeah. You have a point there.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they didn't. Yeah, the Witch King's flail. That's actually an interesting thing. Basically, Peter Jackson just wanted to increase the size of the head and just make it ludicrously large over and over and over again until finally, Richard Taylor was like, I'm embarrassed to be hauling this thing around. This is insane. So he brings it over to Pete, and Pete just starts swinging it around. And it's this huge cast iron spike thing, and it gets caught on his jacket, and it nearly pulls him over. And then
God.
And then Richard Taylor asked Peter Jackson this enormous cast iron spike thing about the size of twice the size of a man's head.
God, Peter Jackson really put all of his work, a lot of care into that series.
Yeah, and he just Richard Taylor. I said, don't you think it's fit a little bit too large, a bit too much? And Peter Jackson's like, no, I think it's 50% too small. And Richard Taylor's like, oh
no.
And it ended up being this huge, massive thing where the actor couldn't even pick it up off the ground. And this is a built 6'4" Maori guy. So the guy playing Lurtz is the guy playing the Witch King's body. So that guy had the the orc that missed that Aragorn kills in the first movie, and he's having trouble picking up this thing. So they actually like had a guy for that scene where the Witch King lifts up his mace, rather than it being the guy physically could not pick it up off the ground, like he was having trouble with it. So they had a guy like get under it and just push it up from the ground just to get it into shot. And for the rest of like the time where he's swinging the mace around, it's completely added in post.
I bet that was more of a joke. Like we have to make just make it absurdly or something. I bet that was like some kind of internal meme or something.
Well, it's kind of just PJs. That mace was awesome. What are you talking about? That mace was so cool.
I'm looking at pictures right now to show the audience just how amazing this mace is.
Yeah, this mace is awesome.
Are you guys going to pick up the 4K Blu-rays?
No, I don't have a Blu-ray or 4K player.
Oh, you're massive.
I don't need it. I have a computer and Netflix.
But what about second Lord of the Rings movie?
I have it on Amazon TV. I bought it the extended on Amazon TV. I'm okay with this. Yeah, the Witch King's mace is pretty dang big. It's huge.
You think he's compensating for something?
Well, he's a ghost. He doesn't have a penis.
Maybe in life,
God, that must suck. At least I'm a fucking corpse, so I still have it.
Yeah.
I'm like, because some certain wolf over here.
The cat.
I didn't do anything.
Let's keep going.
Going. Yeah.
Engine over. Or keep going.
Right along.
The cat wouldn't stay still. Dormer had to firmly hold him while delivering her lines. Natalie Dormer talking about the cat. He was a real diva. It was upstaging us at any given moment. We were all pulling in our hair. The cat would not do what it was supposed to do, short of pinning it down to the bed. We had one take that was halfway passable, and that was the one we used. Oh, interesting. Brian Cogman, Natalie Dormer punched me in the arm at lunch, playfully, I should add. Why the F is this cat a sumo wrestler?
Why the F is this cat a sumo wrestler?
Because it's a fat old tabby. Because it's a fat tabby. It's a fat tabby.
Maybe that's why he wouldn't jump on the bed, because he couldn't actually make it.
Probably. Yeah. Yeah.
I just imagine her just jumping like halfway and fails and falls through.
Okay. I couldn't put the image in my head, so I had to look up Fat Tabby. I heard absolutely nothing. If anything,
But this was one of the weird things about Game of Thrones. Sir Pounce became an internet sensation, and for no reason I can state, that cat doesn't do anything. It's like internet, yeah, that makes sense. Generally, internet sensations
don't do anything.
Yeah, cats are lazy douchebags. It's why the image of the lion is a
careful there, Captain. Careful.
I didn't say the cat girl doesn't count. I say actual cats are lazy douchebags.
How dare you deny her identity?
Oh, I didn't say. Oh, she's a cat girl. She's not a cat.
Neph,
You're imposing your categories on her.
I physically laughed when I looked at these pictures. Look at how massive.
Oh, really? That one massive. There in the middle? Oh, God.
Look at the size of this thing.
I just imagine that's the cat, and he's trying to jump on the bed. He's like, no.
Womp. Womp, womp.
Oh, my God, look at this.
So,
Sir Pounce is the true Azora High.
Oh my God, Neph
Because,
died. And she's back.
Adra's still, Adra's still, I'm sorry.
No.
Yeah.
Now she's hanging out with Count Perion.
Yeah. So, you tired, Neph?
Kind of. I got up really, really early.
Oh, okay. That sucks.
Yeah.
Well, we'll just do this chapter and then we'll be done. We've been
Okay.
doing this for about an hour. So the showrunners jokingly came up with an off-screen fate for Sir Pounce after Tommen committed suicide in season 8. David Benioff.
Season 8?
What?
6, I mean.
Season 6.
Sorry. Season 6.
I was going to say, did they do another stupid?
No, they didn't do another stupid.
Okay, so that's all I remember.
Okay, how angry am I going to get then?
Oh, it's not. Okay, so I'll read this out verbatim. David Benioff. Obviously, Cersei hated the name Sir Pounce so much that she could not allow him to survive. So she came up with her most diabolical execution. Sir Pounce's death was so horrible we couldn't even put it on the air. Dan Weiss. Oh wow, this feels like a giant. Hello, this just feels like you're trying to be hip. Dan Weiss, if you buy a super extended,
fellow kids.
Yeah, how do you do, fellow kids? If you buy a super extended, supercharged Game of Thrones box set, the deaths of Sir Pounce will be in there. Just one whole episode devoted to the death of Sir Pounce. And added that despite the on-screen set hassle, he's rather proud of the scene, noting the randomness of Sir Pounce's cameo had a purpose. So they're not going to even say after they're saying, so they're not even going to say what it was.
You have to buy the thing to find out.
You can't. It doesn't exist. You can't. It doesn't exist.
Yeah, they're trying to do that for
Season 8
us.
doesn't exist. It can't hurt me. No, season 7 doesn't exist. It can't hurt me. There'll be no flying javelins at me this time.
Season 7.
Yeah.
What season 7?
Oh, yeah, I forgot. It only ended at season 6. I forgot. Right, done?
Well, so now it's not only brings up a good point. Couldn't you say she's a werecat and Rydor was a werewolf?
Yeah.
Or if we're fair at being fully transformed into werewolf to the rare forms.
Yeah, it's like it's a full milk moon. That's what she turns.
We're the shifters from D&D.
The milk, the all holy milk of the right.
Milk as you transform, you're like meow. It just turned into this Arnold cat person.
Yeah.
So great now, Buff Cat Morgana comes into mind.
Buff Cat Morgana.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. So, Sir Pounce was a great symbol of Tommen's innocence. Brian Cogman. The most organic way to get Tom to talk about Joffrey and their complicated relationship. There's a reason why he never saw Sir Pounce again. And eventually the royal family in King's Landing had to turn to the far more serious matter of Tyrion's trial for regicide. The episode, The Laws of Gods and Men, was the Thrones version of a traditional courtroom drama. Okay. Accurate. With Tyrion accused of a crime that the audience knew he did not commit, Tyrion endured the procession of witnesses making accusations. But each claim had a kernel of truth stripped of its proper context and stung into damning evidence that seemed guilty. Something George R. R. Martin, something I tried to make a point of through the whole series was that decisions have consequences.
Well,
they do indeed.
Yeah.
Well, they did, but then they didn't anymore.
Yeah, they did, then they didn't.
Yeah.
And then you could just blow up a whole Vatican and not have any issues whatsoever. Just
Hey,
fine.
it's cool with us, man. Whoa, man.
White Hunt, now John can survive all the things. It's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. He's
Just go
all...
with the flow.
I am
Just
all
the
of
screen.
the thing.
You just cut away from the screen and they'll all survive. Well, except for Cersei, of course.
Just go with the flow, man. Stuff happens because it does.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yep. It's frustrating. It's frustrating to say the least. So one of Tyrion's big problems has been his big mouth. He has said things since the beginning of the series. Ares and kind of veiled threats to Cersei sometime. Someday I'm going to get you for this. Someday your joy is going to turn to ashes in your mouth. All those declarations can come back in a major way to make him look really guilty.
Oh, what? In 4 months, season 8 turns 2 years old.
Oh, lovely.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I still remember when season 8 aired.
Yeah, I do too.
I still have a Reese Oreos box that has a Game of Thrones themed on it.
Yeah. Well, I can start using this more often.
How do you do, fellow kids?
Oh, hey, you finally got
it.
Yeah.
I think I gave you the link like ages ago. What took you so long?
I sent you the link to this video.
You sent the embed. Yeah. I just forgot.
Okay, David Benioff.
I'm actually doing stuff of was actually doing stuff of substance. I was writing my senior thesis. So
done kind of
anyway, it's better late than never.
Yeah. So Brian Cogman. Okay, so adding to the intrigue was that Marjorie and Olenna Tyrell knew that Tyrion was innocent. Brian Cogman. Natalie was so much fun to watch. We know that Marjorie knows what who the murderer is. But she's putting on airs, and Natalie's doing all of that behind the eyes. Okay, now this one. Yeah, yep. Okay, this one.
Performer too.
All right. Yeah.
I'm triggered. Yes, I'm triggered when you hear behind the eyes.
Triggered. And everybody type triggered in chat. Triggered.
The worst. It's the guy who invented. It's the guy who invented. It's the guy who invented these performances, these faces. Brian Cogman. It's not Benioff or Weiss. It's their lackey who's their protege writer, and even though they are basically like the worst writers I have ever. Yeah, they are some of the worst writers. Even Aaron Kruger, who I despise with a fiery passion because he's awful. I don't question his basic intelligence as a human being or like basic credentials of writing.
These people, on the other hand, we question them until the cows come home.
Like not even Ryan Johnson. Like we disagree heavily with his movies, his Star Wars movie, but at least he's still a functional human being at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're unhappy with the ending. No, I question your basic writing credentials. This guy isn't a functional adult.
We need to get Dragon back on here. We need some more wisdom.
Yeah. Maybe when we do Dorn, we can bring him on because he had something he wanted to talk about Dorn. So maybe we can bring him on for that one.
Well, we're still just working on it. Now a Dormer. I mean, that's all you can do. The beauty of it is in the cut. So many editors on the show are the unsung heroes, and that scene is a great example of how strong the editing is. The average Joe doesn't always understand how imperative it is, the cutting of what it all looks like. Even Cersei didn't believe her brother was fully guilty. Lena Headey. Cersei's obviously disliked him since the beginning, since she holds him responsible for the death of their mother. She also believed, and and she couldn't really believe it, but was happy to believe it because she could hate him more because he murdered Joffrey. As for Tywin, the stone-faced patriarch didn't know whether his son was guilty or not. Actor Charles Dance told HBO's Making Game of Thrones he isn't entirely sure who is responsible, but a scapegoat has been found, Dan says. For Tywin, the trial is more about manipulating Jaime into agreeing to quit the Kingsguard as part of their backroom deal in exchange for letting Tyrion live the rest of his days out of Castle Black. The trial's real showstopper moment. Came when Tyrion's secret mistress, Mistress Shae, who he had thought safely fled Westeros, testified against him. Shae revealed their intimate moments and accused Tyrion of plotting with Sansa to kill Joffrey. Every previous interaction with Shae and Tyrion was building to that meeting in the courtroom, according to Brian Cogman. George R. R. Martin. There were several actors who improved on their characters from the books, and I wish I could go back and write them better. The most conspicuous change was Sybil Keckley as playing Shae. The Shae in the books is a gold digger camp follower. I have a certain amount of sympathy for her. She was probably abused or put into sexual service at a young age and has been traveling around the army. Tyrion picked her up. She's using her sexuality for advancement and has no real affection. But the way David and Dan wrote her, the way Sybil played her, is a character of far more depth to develop genuine feelings for Tyrion. My Shae would never have turned down the bag of diamonds Varys offered her to leave, which makes the ending far more nonsensical because she testifies against him and then sleeps with his dad.
I don't put too much thought into David Behenius' writing.
Yeah.
I hurt your brain.
I was thinking at the time that he'd made her angry by calling her by yelling her and all that, but that was obviously to protect her, though. So I think that's what they were going for, insofar as they were going for anything.
But doesn't it make sense? Because then...
But in those days, I thought it might still make sense. Back in those days, I was so young back then and naive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it wasn't it wasn't until season 7 that they start putting my thinking cap on.
Yeah. So the split scene, Sybil Keckley, the Shae, the split scene was hard. Tyrion told her, "You're a whore, just go away." As Sybil Keckley, I was feeling that Shae has to understand what's going on, so I was struggling with it. I talked to David and Dan. This is not my Shae. She has to get why Tyrion is behaving like this. But I had to do what was in the script. It was really hard to understand that scene, but I loved it. The trial was heartbreaking. I tried to put all of Shae's humiliation to that moment to show her pain. It didn't work. I think the fans hated Shae. Oh, interesting.
That is interesting.
Okay, that's another pattern of they don't know why their character is doing it. This happens with Nikolai and with Sophie Turner.
And Daenerys.
Sophie Turner was asked, why is Sansa not telling Jon about the Vale army? And her answer was, I actually don't know, maybe to make it more dramatically satisfying, while the riders are sitting next to her.
Yeah, they were making her answer the question.
It looks like sabotage, really. I mean, if you were trying to explain this in universe, like the way she looks when she sees Jon's alive, it's like oh man, he's still alive kind of face.
Yeah,
and like you can almost interpret that she was purposely trying to get him killed.
Yeah,
it's so bizarre. Makes too much sense though to be true.
And then it's never brought up again. Even the actors. And Nikolai's like, I don't know why my character is doing this.
And Stephen Delane also said something like that.
Yeah, he said, I don't know why Stannis is doing this. I have no idea. And admittedly, Stephen Delane never liked the show, but which kind of worked for his performance because Stannis is a guy who doesn't like anything.
I mean, I would understand why he doesn't like the show. He's probably like, "What are these fucking idiots? These guys
Yeah.
don't know this shit."
Yeah.
It's probably his interpretation of like the show is probably wasn't that great because how terribly everything was ran.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. So Tyrion is very devastated for the by the testimony, just by having made the deal with his dad. He decides to flip the script, and because something inside him snaps. At the moment, Brian Cogman, the moment Shay triggers what's been building inside him, the Shay moment triggers what's been building inside Tyrion his whole life. He was going to take Tywin's deal and go quietly. Now he'd rather die than give him that. But before he dies, he's going to tell them all what he thinks about it. So he sticks it to his father, to Cersei, and to the crowd. In a speech adapted by Brian Cogman, Tyrion writes, "I am guilty of a far more monstrous crime. I am guilty of being a dwarf. I've been on trial my whole life. I did not kill Joffrey, but I wish I had. Watching your vicious bastard die gave me more relief than 1,000 lying whores. I wish I had enough poison for the whole pack of you." They left out the line in the book that I think is the best, most telling part, where he says, "I would gladly give my life to make you all swallow it."
That was in the show.
Yeah, that was, well, they omit it in the book, which is interesting. I think partially because it doesn't quite fit with the narrative of Tyrion as like this just, oh, happy fun guy. It's kind of frustrating. And if you thought Dinklage's piece on the episode was searing, his first take on the material was even more volcanic. Nikolai Coster-Waldau, Jaime Lannister. Peter went big for the first take of giving a speech at the trial. He did it to the room, if you will. They picked the take for the episode where he brought it down for the close-ups, but his first take was so raw, it was beautiful. All the hair stood up on your body. You're like, this is amazing. Brian Cogman. The thing about Peter is there's probably 15 takes that we didn't use that we could have slotted in and would have been equally incredible and an entirely different version of the same scene. The take they end up using is not too over the top. I keep coming back to how piercing his gaze is throughout the speech. He's just stabbing daggers into every person he's talking to. Okay. Yeah, that trial was awesome. Yeah, it was great.
Just remembering how good the show was, it's really depressing.
Yeah, it kind of is. So,
it's like every time I try to listen to a piece of the soundtrack, I almost want to punch my fist or something because then I remember the ending.
Yeah, it's annoying,
to say the least.
It really gets my blood boiling.
Yeah. So I served on jury duty, Peter Dinklage, a while back for a case that went on for a while, and it wasn't dissimilar. Because we had a whole week to shoot, I was up on that podium for what felt like a week. It was a chance for Tyrion without any BS, without any humor, to tell everybody what he thought of them. People say things about others on the show down on corridors and in bedrooms, and this was Tyrion's moment to pull out the curtain and pull the ripcord on the whole Lannister legacy, especially to expose his father and things that have been building up inside of him the whole time.
I just imagine Peter Dinklage saying that same quote from the actual trial and in the real world for some reason.
Yeah.
And I would watch you all swallow it, and it's just some little old granny like, oh no.
Yeah. It's a lot of things have been really suffering down and stuff down deep inside of him that come out. He's always dealt with things with humor and wit. Interesting way of putting that. But this time, enough's enough. He would have been fine until the love of his life was brought into it. He would have taken the deal. Instead, Tyrion chose trial by combat, and Oberyn Martell volunteers himself as his champion. the Red Viper had been introduced in season 4 premiere, along with his seductive paramour Ilaria Sand. The reason Martell all season, Martell had daringly antagonized the Lannisters, seeking vengeance against them and their murderous knight Sir Gregor Clegane for their war crimes against his family decades earlier. This fight gave the prince his chance to get his confession and revenge. Pedro Pascal, also known as Mandalorian. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I don't think there's a Soren Easter Bunny artwork. I got lucky that I just was able to find a Soren Markov with a Santa hat.
No, we've already done some.
Yeah.
You just draw you up one.
Yeah. Not interested, thank you. Pedro Pascal, also the Mandalorian. And I was a true audience member of the show. When the audition came around, it had seemed unattainable. I got 17 pages of sides, and it was full of spoilers. And I was really upset the season was spoiled with me. So I put myself on tape and sent it in. I was really surprised when I heard back, and it gradually grew on me. David and Dan wrote this really generous email to talk about the character, and it was very articulate, and it made a lot of sense to me.
Can I do that to like every other character?
Yeah. David Benioff, this is a role we were nervous about casting, as Oberyn embodies so many characteristics. He's a favorite character from the book. He's sexy and he's got the swagger, yet he's smart.
The fucking swagger.
Yeah.
What the fucking edgelord, Jesus.
Oh no. We're only halfway through.
Well, we're already halfway through.
Yeah, we're at 200 of 452.
We haven't even gotten to the good stuff yet.
Yeah. He loves his family and he's sexual in all sorts of ways, and Pedro is just phenomenal.
Giggity.
Yeah. He is a fan. Pedro Pascal, when the casting announcement was made, it scared the crap out of me. It was like the guys love me, the guys love him, the girls love him. He's the most amazing human being in the world. I was like, "Aw, thanks a lot. Set the bar a lot higher." A little higher. Sybil Keckley, the actors who joined the later seasons were nervous. Pedro Pascal was nervous on set. I was taking care of him, saying, "Hey, come on, we're all team here. We're going to have a drink and you can join us." Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the Bible. Yeah. You are welcome. What the flowery straw only
What's your language, young lady?
Do not use the flowers lightly.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Yeah. It's 1,200 pages.
What's 1,200 pages?
The Bible.
Oh, okay.
Actually, no, I got a little copy of the Bible in my cupboard right here.
Yeah. The scene where David Benioff, the scene where Pedro tells Tyrion he'll fight for the mountain is the best scene Pedro had to shoot. It was really intense pressure for a guy who hasn't been on the show, and he's coming over and doing a brand new character, and his first scene was a 7-minute minute scene opposite Peter Dinklage. Dan Weiss, quote within quote, interesting. Yeah.
Hey, I am almost 30.
Welcome to the show. Here's your costume. Now summarize the emotional apotheosis of your character. Go. No. That's not how you use the word apotheosis. It's the emotional core of your character. Apotheosis means becoming godlike. That's what apotheosis means. That's not like awful, but it's a little bit of like a needle in my soul.
So he used apotheosis when he meant epitome? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
I wasn't paying attention. What's happening?
He used the word apotheosis incorrectly.
What else is new?
Okay. So Hughes did a brilliant job of encapsulating everything about the character with no tricks or bells or whistles. He was really nervous about it. He wanted to so badly to get it right. It took a long time to convince him that he had gotten it more than right. He thought we were being nice. He didn't know us yet. Oh, funny. The Mountain and the Viper fight. Oh, Dan Weiss.
Oh.
Dan Weiss said he thought we were being nice. He didn't know us yet.
He didn't know us yet. That's a good one.
Yeah. Yeah, that's worse.
Pretentious wording.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen the Mountain versus Viper fight, like with lightsabers?
Oh, that part's funny. That part's awesome. That thing's awesome, where he's got a double-bladed lightsaber. That's fantastic.
But there's Dual Fates playing in the background?
I think so.
no,
I think that one was the Ned versus Arthur Dane.
Yeah.
Boo, why use the epic music for the fight in a bad season?
You know how to make a fight scene better? Just make it into lightsabers.
Yeah. The Mountain and the Viper.
100% more interesting.
Yeah. The Mountain and the Viper fight was filmed at a seaside amphitheater in Dubrovnik, but first some obstacles needed to be cleared. Alex Graves, when we scouted the amphitheater, there were these yachts out front, so we needed to make a deal to make sure those yachts weren't there when we filmed. They were all backed off a quarter mile so they wouldn't be in the shot. Everybody agreed to do it except one person. Oh my gosh, this is actually hilarious. Oh, this is hilarious. Okay, so multiple people working on Thrones insisted that this person was, in fact, actor Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis.
And that the Die Hard star not only refused to move his yacht, but attempted to disrupt filming by piloting the boat back and forth in front of the amphitheater once shooting was underway.
Yippee-yi-yay, motherfucker.
Oh man, that is hilarious. The crew members called it an act of, quote, yacht rage.
Yacht rage.
Okay, that's actually legitimately funny.
Yacht.
It's a yacht rage. Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's actually kind of funny because we were watching Die Hard the other day. I'm like, wow, this is really great.
Yeah, but the actor's presence in Croatia during that time was never confirmed. Alex Graves, the yacht circled trying to say, F you, I'm in your shot, a couple times, and we were all laughing because we were aimed away from the water at the time anyway. Bernadette Caulfield. I think that's been blown up a little bit more than it was. We never actually saw Bruce. Yeah.
I was just watching Die Hard and like, wow, there's so much logic in this action movie. It's insane.
Yeah, it's neat. Like, and it's creative use of like making the protagonist really vulnerable by just taking away his shoes. It really
like
puts
the glass part. I was like, wow.
It really just puts into perspective how much human beings really need and value shoes.
Yeah, and not to mention, it also makes your enemies smart too. Like watching the sequel trilogy and Mandalorian and watching Die Hard. It's like, wow, you can actually make villains that are like foot soldiers actually smart. Like, holy shit, it's like a whole new concept.
They have braids? What is this sorcery?
No, they're supposed to be like mindless idiots who run right into the middle of fucking combat and get shot. What are you talking about?
Yeah. The fight sequence was shot over 3 days, with Icelandic strongman Hafþór Björnsson having stepped into the role of Gregor Clegane the Mountain. He was the third and last guy to play the Mountain, which is interesting. On the set, it's surreal to watch Bjornsson stomp around, especially when he's costumed in armor that gives him even greater bulk and height. Yeah, because this guy is a big guy. He's like, yeah, he makes, so Lena Headey's like 5'6", 5'7" ish. She's like regular height. She's up to his waist.
Yeah.
He's a big guy. You feel slightly dizzy and confused looking at him, as if you're somehow looking at a special effect that's been rendered into a real life, a human version of the show's supersized direwolves. F.R. Bjornsson, people hire me based on being a good, hardworking guy and who just happens to be 6'9" and 450 pounds.
Jesus.
And they trust me to stay true to the script while adding my own personal touches. Dang, this guy's big, and apparently his brothers are even tall, and his brothers are like head and shoulders taller than him.
Oh, what is he the smallest of the family?
Yeah. Yeah, he's
then they should
shorter
have
than
hired one of his brothers then.
Yeah. Rory McCann, one time Huffport ordered chicken and they brought him 2 breasts of chicken, and he just looked up and said, no, a chicken, not just chicken, a chicken.
Oh my god.
I want all the fucking chickens in this room.
Then he'd be eating a couple hours later again. He's a beast.
Oh, he needs to eat all that to keep all that muscle mass.
Yeah. Bring up a Wolf. Bring up a picture of Huffport and his friend and his brother.
Yeah. Let me look him up real quick because I don't know how to spell his name.
Yeah, it's weird Icelandic spelling.
There it is. Huffport Julius Bjornsson. Then let me just get his brother. Shut. Oh boy, guys! Like, you'll be amazed. Like, look at this. He's the
Yeah.
He's the shortest of them all.
Yeah, look at find a picture of like Lena Headey and the mountain.
Oh my god, look at this picture.
Look down below.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, Lena.
Yeah, that.
Oh, here's what you would look like next to Lena Headey.
Yeah.
She just comes up.
She's up to his shoulder, not his waist, but he makes her look tiny. He makes her look like a child.
I mean, let's see if we can get a picture of. Yeah, let me see. Okay.
Yeah,
this may exist. Yeah. What am I thinking of?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, no, can't find any pictures. Apparently, that one's too much to ask for.
Huh.
How tall is he with 7 feet?
Yeah. So for Martel to take on such a fearsome opponent, the Sun team created a unique style of fighting for the Red Viper, unlike anything seen in the show previous. Alex Graves, I want to see someone airborne and moving and spinning musically, like in a dance, to convey the Centaur-esque style of the character. Centaura, that's interesting. I never heard that word.
Okay. Nihilus, this man is 213 centimeters.
Dang. Big guy. The style is meant to give the audience the impression he could win against this gigantic opponent. Because when you look at the mountain, you figure he's going to kill him. And Pedro had such a spectacularly likable personality and was such a smooth operator, you could put some doubt into the audience's mind. Pedro Pascal. It was really intense. We were in the arena that was exposed to sunlight the entire day, and I was covered in armor and flying around like a wasp, just flying around this huge guy who literally had a sword that went from the ground to my chin. Yeah, that sword is long. Like, the mountain sword is longer. So ice is about 5'2". Like, it's 5 feet 2 inches long. The mountain sword is 3 inches, is even bigger. It's insane.
That's quite the great sword you have.
Yeah, I actually own a replica of ice.
How do you fit it down there?
I have a wall mount.
Must be quite the wall mouth.
I thought Wolf was going to a really dirty place.
I mean, I could, but I'm not. Like, I have standards, guys.
Yeah.
Sure you do.
So
after what your dogs did to me, I'm sure you do.
Hafir Bjornsson. Working with Pedro was great. He's a good guy, and we had some good time between stakes. But shooting was extremely difficult, both mentally and physically demanding, going over and over again in full armor and high temperatures. The tensions were running high during the most intense filming, where actors and most people were working 16 to 18 hours per day. Okay. All the training with Swordmaster C.C. Smith several weeks, in fact, really paid off. I think the audience doesn't really realize how much work went into making Game of Thrones. Oh yeah, I believe it.
Also, Nihilus Nihilium, the tallest man to have ever lived was 8'11". Convert that to 240. That's 244 centimeters. He didn't live very long though. He only lived to like 30.
Yeah, giantism's a bitch. Alex Graves, we want to misdirect the audience step by step. Throughout the training, I would go over and say, can you kick him here if it seemed the Mountain or the Viper was doing too well? Dan Weiss, it was not about people hacking at each other with swords or spears. It was the culmination of Oberyn's 20 years of anger and hatred and thirst for vengeance coming to a head in an amazing set piece. For a couple of tense moments, Oberyn appeared to defeat his rival. The Mountain, severely wounded, collapsed on the stone fort. Instead of finishing him off, however, Oberyn insisted in trying to get the Mountain to confess to his crimes against House Martell. Victory was at hand. Oberyn was distracted by Ilaria's proud smile for just 1 second. Dan Weiss, it's a classic tragic flaw situation. A character who just can't leave well enough alone. He couldn't keep poking the hornet's nest. He does it with great amusement throughout the season. He finally does it to the wrong person at the wrong time. The results leave a giant mess on the floor of our set. Pedro Pascal. He got too close and was delivered by his own passions, because ultimately it was about defeating the man who raped and killed his sister. Before he can do that, before he can end this man's life, he needed a confession. He needed to hear it. The Mountain swept Oberyn's leg, climbed up on top of him, then you know what happened.
Crushed his skull with his bare hands.
Yeah, which I admittedly stole. I took that in for Wrath of the Dragon, which I'm writing now, because because I wanted to do something graphic to Jack Saint's insert character named Jaint.
You could make it more obvious if he also said he had a weird hairdo and had a British accent.
I put in that he has an orange half-shaved head.
Oh my god, that's perfect.
Yeah, I don't make it subtle. The fact that of the people I dislike and view as inferior thinkers.
Also, hey, actually, Graham, nice for you to pop in.
Yeah. So let's keep going.
Well, no.
Okay.
I don't like this.
Okay. So Alex Graves, everybody says, oh my gosh, the shot where his head explodes. You don't actually see the head explode. It's a sound effect. What you do see is the split second before it exploded. A lot of it building the head that could be pressed and begin to cave in. We had tubes of blood and everything. At first, we forgot to add bone, and then he started to squeeze, and the whole head caved in.
Like, reminder, we got to see the blood start to flow from the eyes. As we started to hear like crunching sounds.
Yeah.
Was it real blood?
No.
Yeah, they actually killed the actor because it'll be the
best. Him playing the Mandalorian is fake news. It's totally fake news.
It's a deep fake.
We haven't seen his face yet. Still, for all we know, it could be fake news.
We actually have seen his face multiple times.
Yeah, especially in the latest episode.
Like what?
Well,
he actually took off that helmet.
We saw him at the end of season 1.
And season 2, he took his helmet off in the latest episode.
Man, really? He actually unmasked himself.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, the end of season 1.
And season 2, episode 7.
Yeah.
Jeez,
So, the VFX and prosthetics team did such a good job. It felt like I was actually crushing someone's head. Yeah. In Duravarma, I thought he actually fell asleep. During it. It wasn't fainting. Okay. Maybe.
It was too much work.
He was doing so brilliantly in the fight, and he just lost. It was all going his way, and he just lost it, didn't he? Alex Graves. Then after the mountain fell back, we laid different types of meat over the stun actor's face. You're so far away in the show, you don't know it's meat. It's all just so horrifying.
Hex, I didn't see The Mandalorian season 1 all the way through.
Yeah.
I watched
it all with with a friend of mine.
I watched episodes 1, 2, 3, and then I mainly skipped towards that prison break episode, and that was about it.
It's really dumb. But if you can find a way to turn your brain off, I guess some people can find it enjoyable.
It's like I found a major editing mistake. I pointed out this major mistake while I was in the watch party watching the first episode, and I saw wait a minute, hang on, back up.
Yeah.
We didn't see him move his arm into position to shoot the IG unit.
Well, we will. How about we'll keep the Star Wars discussion for another time. Does who here wants to discuss the Star Wars lineup? The metric craptillion Star Wars shows we're going to be getting.
I know. Oh my gosh, I thought that shit was absurd. I didn't even learn about it until Anomaly did a video on it.
I said it in one server, and I'll say it again. We are in the dark age of Star Wars.
We could be.
Mandalorian was nothing but a platform to push other shows.
It's not as bad as the sequel trilogy, because
that's not saying much.
Oh, yeah. Let's do that next week. We'll make next week Star Wars week on top of.
Just tell me a time.
Yeah, we'll discuss it this week. I'm going to be a little bit busy with finals. Yeah, I'm going to be busy with finals this week. So
my brother started listening to new Star Wars lineup.
It's like what I think Jeremy John said, did a skit saying, we have seen the Star Wars fatigue, so we'll only do one movie, and that's Rogue Squadron. However, we will also give you this metric craptillion shows.
Just imagine if they try to pull that with the Song of Ice and Fire universe.
I don't see why they're doing. Okay, Rogue Squadron is an interesting. Rogue Squadron, that's straight up from the EU.
Though the funniest thing is, there's no Ryan Johnson trilogy in the line.
There's no hold on there. For all we know, Ryan Johnson is still working on a trilogy. They just haven't announced it yet.
Oh no!
They haven't announced it into the trash can.
Yeah, yeah.
So for all purposes, if we actually see that Ryan Johnson trilogy, I might as well just say, "Well, Joy's been wrecked."
I'll be like, "Well, look, free content."
Well, the thing is, they were announcing. I think earlier they announced the fact that I think a couple years ago they announced that D&D's movies would be 22, 24, and 26. And then yeah, I don't care. I don't like Ryan, and it just seems as though Ryan has been shunted to the side. He was shunted to the side right after.
The more he keeps yapping his mouth, the more I'm kicking him.
Yeah, he
kicked Ryan.
Yeah, the problem, he just, yeah, it was pre-virus, but it was kind of it wasn't even it was D&D's thing, and then they left, and then there was no news about Ryan. It just seems as though they're saying I just think that Bob Iger hates Ryan. That's the feeling that I get. like he's just like, get him out of here. He is not doing this. No. But yeah, it just seems as though like just go. Yeah, go make Knives Out. Knives Out, fine, fine.
I've never seen it, but I highly doubt it's any good.
It under a microscope.
I have seen it. The more I describe it to Smud when we watch Knives Out videos, the more stupid it seems. It's frustrating.
Yeah, once you actually stop, put your brakes on, and actually go through the scenes, this stuff stops making any sense.
When you actually, when your brain when your brain's working and you actually look at it, it's like, oh wait, that's stupid.
Yeah.
Just like Mandalorian season 2, episode 6. Oh my god, that episode was absolute trash fire.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's keep going.
Good.
Then after the mountain fell back, we laid. Okay, yeah. Pedro Pascal. Interestingly, we had this conversation with Lena Headey about Oberyn's journey. That even though it ends badly, he still secures the confession. I didn't even need to go on after because it had been said out loud, and the ecstasy of achieving it, even though. Yeah. Yeah.
And they say, "Oh God."
I've
seen your
his tiny
It'd
member.
be funny if they actually just kill off Jon Snow and didn't bring him back, and he turned out to be a really important character in the books. And they just killed him off because they didn't like him.
I know one guy, Preston Jacobs, says, "Just kill Jon off. Just leave Jon dead. It doesn't matter. It would be a better story."
Yeah, because he doesn't.
But then we wouldn't get.
He doesn't matter in the end.
But then we wouldn't get great dialogue like, "I don't want it.
You McQueen."
Actually, Ryan's first because Ryan has a good history of writing hate stories. Yeah. Well, it depends. Knives Out was rough.
All right. I mean, we're not going back to Star Wars already again, are we?
Yeah. Sorry. Let's let it go. Yeah. So, even though it's ecstasy of having achieved that, even though it's achieved in the instance of my demise, it seems as though Tyrion was fated for execution again. Then Jaime, ooh, okay, please get Taisha. Oh, let's talk. Oh, he's getting to the Taisha bit. Interesting.
Oh, wow. So he's actually going to do it.
I hope he does. If he omits this, I am going to laugh my ass off.
Ooh, quick, grab the popcorn.
Okay, so then Jaime, in keeping with his lifelong devotion to looking out for his younger brother, frees him from the Black Cells. But just like Oberyn, Tyrion could not leave well enough alone. He had unfinished business with his father. Then he discovered Tywin was not alone. What? Okay, you're not mentioning it? Okay. George R. R. Martin, sometimes people get pushed too far. Sometimes people break. I think Tyrion reached that point. He'd been through hell, had faced death over and over again, and had been betrayed. As he sees it, all the people he's taken care of and tried to win the approval of, he'd been trying to win his father's approval all his life and despised his feeling, fell in love with Shay. Sybil Kelly, this girl is in the bed with his father. Tyrion came in and Shay has to say, "My lion, I refuse to shoot it. Please don't do this." Ooh, that's interesting. Wow. Okay. Huh. You're not mentioning the Taisha reveal being cut.
I wonder why.
Surprise me. It's a matter of public record. Dragon Demands has that video.
Have they mentioned
you have to refresh my memory.
Well, basically, it's just like Alex Graves, David Benioff, and DB Weiss were in a discussion meeting together of whether or not to include the Taisha reveal. And they decided that they were going to cut it after they've been setting it up for 4 seasons. This is very Battle of the Bastards in a way. So,
can I ask a question?
Go for it.
Have they mentioned Taisha at all in the entire book?
Nope.
Oh,
maybe not. It might have been in
Maybe
season one,
I think maybe like
mute me, please.
So okay, but it's like okay, so Sybil Keckley didn't want to mention this. Okay, didn't want to do the shoot. Didn't want to shoot that, and she's like, "Please don't do this." Okay, yeah, that's so. It was Alex Graves. It was very hard to kill Shay. I don't think any sequence has left me so exhausted. George R. R. Martin. Yeah, because they like Maisie Williams. They're Maisie Williams fanboys. George R. R. Martin. Tyrion is strangling her slowly as she's fighting, trying to get free. He could let go at any time, but his anger and sense of betrayal is so strong that he doesn't stop until it's done. And it's probably the blackest deed he's ever done.
what? She tried to kill him. That's not how it went down.
Yeah. Alex Graves, the way Tyrion ends up after he's killed her is the worst part of the scene, in that he's kind of hanging off the chain he uses to choke her. He is meant to kill her on the bed. He was meant to kill her on the bed, but when we were rehearsing, Tyrion threw himself off the bed and held onto the chain. Even though he landed on the side of the bed, he said, "What if I keep going from here?" Tyrion came off the bed and kept pulling, so he was killing her without having to face her, and it was awful, and we were going to offer. Sybil Keckley. Ooh, this is interesting. Oh, yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah, he does. George was setting this up in book 2, which is interesting. So, this part's really interesting. People keep asking me, did Shay love Tyrion? For me, it was clear she loved Tyrion. If she didn't, yeah, it makes things don't make sense.
Wait, if she loved you, why did she try to kill?
I don't know. Maybe okay. So if she didn't, she would have. If she didn't, she would have left him when he lost his power. When Varys offered her money, he married another girl. She loved Sansa, and she loved Sansa. In the end, it was too much pain. My explanation is that, of course, she knew all the power games between the family, but she's lowborn and didn't have the power. She didn't have any choice. She had to be with someone who could protect her. Tywin and Cersei somehow forced her. You have to help us, or you're going to die. So, what's the next step? Then lowborn girl in that situation, she can be a prostitute, or she can be a lover to this powerful guy, and that would be Tywin.
That's her take. Like, they didn't even tell her why.
Yeah, that's interesting. Tyrion, armed with a crossbow, surprises his father on the toilet. When confronted by the son he thought was in prison, the stern Lannister patriarch was almost entirely unflappable. It was just like Charles Dance, like this extremely, like, just even on the toilet with his pants around his ankles, soul of dignity, just calmly, just which is kind of impressive. Like, he manages to maintain his dignity. He also manages to maintain his dignity, like, when he's like in a leopard print skirt and half shirt.
Listen here.
It makes me wonder why did Tyrion try to kill his father? Like, there is no Tysha, so it's like, why are you doing this?
Yeah, it's just Shay, I guess, which is strange. Well, he's just like,
everything's strange about this whole scene. He kills Shay. Shay tries to kill him, and he feels bad.
Yeah.
He goes to his father for some reason.
Yeah. Yeah, he was the best actor on the show. I would agree.
Yeah.
Totally. So Alex Graves, I remember trying to find a piece of wall because I wanted the shot of Tyrion walking into the bathroom. You couldn't just cut to the next thing right after Shay's murder. I wanted the drama of 6 seconds of
murder
walking.
He tried to kill him. How is that murder?
Yeah, I guess. I wanted the drama of 6 seconds of him walking. Yeah, that is true. Wanted to so seconds of him walking, and the next thing was with the crossbow. People were like, with all the money spent on the show, why does Graves need a frickin' wall? Because you need it. Okay, he used the word freaking. Interesting. Okay, so Tywin called Shay a whore despite having just murdered Shay. Tyrion warned his father not to disrespect her by saying that word again. George R. R. Martin. Lord Tywin was convinced that since he didn't love Tyrion, no one could love Tyrion. Shay's obviously some lower class girl just trying to get the dwarf into bed because he's a Lannister, so she could be a lady, have money, live in a castle. Basically, the equivalent of being a whore. She's just screwing him for position or of status.
This is inconsistent. The hell.
Yeah. Tywin is just trying to teach Tyrion a lesson in that regard, and so he keeps using the word whore. It's like pulling salt in the wound. Tyrion tells him, "Don't say that word again." He says that word again. At that moment, Tyrion's finger pushed the trigger.
Why?
No Tysha reveal mention. Interesting.
See, it's just fucking dumb.
Yeah, it's very strange.
He says what happens when you try to do a book adaptation without like the adaptation part. You just you do the notes.
That's actually a very good point. Tyrion wanted Tywin to respect Shay. What? I don't understand. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. So Peter Dinklage, Tyrion was grieving about what he just did. Tywin doesn't give a crap. It's the finger that fired. That's the finger that fires. Interesting way of putting it. Martin added that Tywin was not killed because of his use of words or his dreadful treatment of his son in general, but due to something quite specific that he had taught Tyrion many years before. It's very much Tywin's philosophy that you don't make threats and fail to carry them out. That's a very important thing that he drilled in Tyrion since his youth. You threaten someone, then they defy you. You don't carry out your threat. Who's going to believe you? Oh my gosh!
Is that they're just
that? Okay. Oh wow, that makes everything that he says with Daenerys so asinine.
Oh fuck me! I understand what you're saying now.
Yeah. He should totally understand everything that Daenerys is threatening to do because he should understand.
Wow, this is incredibly fucked.
Yeah. Wow.
Their interpretations of everything just flips on a dime. Fucking hell.
Yeah. What? Wow. Like
so, does everybody still believe Daenerys is gonna just burn everybody now?
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like Tyrion should be behind her. Tyrion should be like, yeah, you threatened to do it. Do it.
Nah, it's
Tyrion's
good
an immoral character. Tyrion's a fundamentally immoral character. He doesn't care. He is very, very Machiavellian, even in the show. But they decide to just simplify him because they didn't do most of Dance of Dragons and Feast for Crows.
I always got into arguments with people about Daenerys, like, oh, she was always crazy, and like they always have double standards with her in season 7.
Yeah,
with the Tarleys and stuff.
Yeah, it's like, wow, and like multiple people highlighted this. Like there's actually kind of a thing in this. 7 other people highlighted this part of the book. So this just makes everything with like Tyrion should be egging them on. Tyrion.
So is this book not a hit piece or what?
It's just so stupid. It's just so dumb. Where it's just like it makes the choices just make less and less sense because Tyrion shouldn't care. Wow.
Oh, we should clip this part.
Oh man. Dang, yeah, I'll do that. Wow. Oh,
we can use it like for future reference.
Yeah, it's just wow.
Every time they say, I wanna like if they ever get to a part in this book, they were like, hey, we can't do that. We can't hold it by our own standards. Can't
Oh
do
wow!
that thing.
I'm just like,
What I
oh,
miss? What I
oh.
miss?
So basically, Tyrion. Okay, so apparently, like Martin added that Tywin was killed not because of something very specific he taught Tyrion. It's Tywin's philosophy that George R. R. Martin, you make threats, fail to carry them out. You don't make threats and fail to carry them out. It's an important thing that drilled into Tyrion since his youth. You threaten something, then they defy you. You don't carry out your threat. Who's going to believe your threats?
Oh, fair enough.
So that makes all of Tyrion's scenes with Daenerys not make sense.
Well, they didn't anyway.
Well, no, it's just it makes them even more nonsensical because it like goes against the characters.
What characters?
Yeah, it just makes it so much worse and just so much more painful.
Like in-universe characters, like I don't know. Well, what's like the first example you can put this to?
Yeah. Oh gosh, it's so annoying. Peter Dinklage. I loved working with Charles Dance. I loved their relationship too. Horrible as it was, it was so loving in a way to work with a screwed up relationship. Gosh, I sound like somebody who was abused as it's their own fault. I just loved how Charlie played it. Oh, that's interesting to call him Charlie. He'd respected Tyrion,
nice.
but he just couldn't help it. Charles Dance. Tyrion was a continuous reminder as far as Tywin was concerned of the year he failed in, especially in the 15th, 16th century. Any imperfection, whether it's dwarfism, being blind, child being born imperfected, ideally you smother them, get rid of them, but put them in a bucket. You let Tyrion
I don't know if that's true or not. That sounds like.
I think it probably is.
What, that anyone with a deformity in the Middle Ages got smothered? I don't think so. I'm not so sure about.
They were probably left in the woods. They're probably just killed because, like.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm going to. If I hear if someone medieval authority tells me that, I'll believe it.
Well, the thing is, there's a belief in the Catholic Church that ugliness of the soul will represent itself in ugliness of the body.
I never heard that doctrine when I did my catechism, so I don't know.
What did I miss?
This is medieval. Well, this is medieval Catholicism.
Oh, God. Weiss missed that entire point.
So we just barely got to a point where Tywin drilled into Tyrion that when you make a threat and to carry it out, nobody believes you. So that just makes all of his interactions with Daenerys just nonsensical. Yeah. It's also like if a child is deformed, you're gonna throw them out for practical reasons, because they're gonna be a drain on your resources, and usually, like.
I mean, heck, the Spartans threw kids off the cliff. They weren't good enough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
maybe not. I don't remember learning that when I was studying medieval history either. But who knows?
Yeah. So he let Tyrion live, and to his astonishment, Tyrion is the brightest of his children, the whiniest and the cleverest, and there's a continual annoyance. The little crap shouldn't possess all those qualities. Those are qualities that I would admire in him if he weren't a dwarf. The fact that he's a dwarf is a constant reminder of his failure. It's horrible, but I'm not one of those actors who tries to find the good in the character. If a character is crap, he's a crap, and you should play him full on as a crap. Don't try and make him nice. Peter is extraordinary. I just would have loved to play some scenes with him where I didn't treat him like crap, And that's the end. And that's the end of that chapter. We've gone
Oh boy, we got one really juicy one at the end.
Yeah, that was frustrating. But yeah, let me see.
I have this saved in a little notepad so I can remember it later. When we get to the Dany scenes later on, I can reference it.
Let me see. Disability in the Middle Ages. So, okay, so there was a general, very little was okay, so disabled people constitute a large part of medieval society as part of the peasantry, clergy, and nobility. Very little is recorded about the general disabled community at the time. Disability was not considered an extraordinary quality. It's not heavily documented. If they were blind, dumb, or lame, the ability being okay. The idea of disability being undesirable and unholy stemmed from later eugenics movement began in the 20th century. Okay, so
which incidentally the Catholic Church at the time was pretty heavily opposed to.
Okay.
Yeah, whenever I hear someone say in the Middle Ages they did this, in the Middle Ages they killed all the heirs, in the Middle Ages they did this, I always immediately get triggered and think this is probably something that's been spread around and is made up like the whole flat Earth thing. That's what immediately hops my head.
So Christianity, the dominant religion in Europe, had mixed views on disability. Within the Bible, disability was aligned with sin and punishment, but also with healing and martyrdom. Some medieval priests and scholars believed that a body would be corrupted by sin, and therefore divine punishment took the form of physical illnesses. However, opposing schools of thought revolved around the concept that those with disability showed a higher form of piety than those that did not have physical impairments. Canon law. It didn't contain that many. It contained a few restrictions, such as those physically disabled could not become holy men. However, there are contradictory laws. The Fourth Lateran Council enacted a law that linked bodily infirmity to sometimes be caused by sin. Therefore, medieval physicians were asked to hear their patients' confessions so their soul could be cured before their body could be assessed. Okay. Interesting. So it's
what's this from?
Wikipedia. Okay. So it's kind of there's conflicting accounts.
Yeah, that's what I thought. As soon as I heard they always killed them off, I'm like, no.
It's kind of but usually they were like court jesters. Though I imagine that there wasn't probably like people who put their babies out to die if they were disabled, if they couldn't work on the fields, just by virtue of they didn't want an extra mouth to feed. That's probably how it was.
Cruel, but it's reality.
Yeah. So the next book. Okay, how many
chapter?
The next chapter is the biggest show in the world. Not inaccurate.
The biggest show in the world. What is that about?
It used to be the biggest show in the world.
It's the best source I have right off the bat. Okay.
What's the biggest show in the world?
Game of Thrones.
I know, but this is basically going to go on about how much it was hyped and there were globs of fans and blah blah, water cooler and all that.
Yeah. Okay, so the next chapter is they have citations. They have to have citations. It is actually pretty reliable in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I mean, so if it doesn't have citations, it will say this article does not cite any sources.
Yeah. But since there are actual citations, yeah.
Is there a bibliography? Just out of curiosity.
There was a bibliography at the bottom.
Yeah, that's probably reliable. Yeah. It sounds reasonable.
Yeah. So the next chapter is like 16 pages, so we should be able to get through that quickly. So we're currently at page 209. We can probably bounce through like 20 I would like go through 2 chapters or so, since the next chapter, since it's like 30 pages, well, 28 pages for 2 chapters, so we can get through like a couple of them.
So what's the chapter after the greatest show?
The Forks in the Road.
Oh, so this is where the fandom splits up and starts fighting over it and stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not valid academically. Usually finds. I don't cite a paper. I don't write a paper on Wikipedia. Yeah, I'm not using like a. I'm just saying like the information there is like that's the best I can find off the bat.
Yeah,
So,
he's not writing a paper on it. We're just talking. So
Yeah.
it's good enough for our purposes.
Yeah. So it's kind of like the first night myth, where there wasn't actually Prima Nocte didn't actually happen. It was just it's a myth perpetuated about the Middle Ages, where a guy could have sex on the first on
With his vassal's wife on the wedding night. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely not real. Definitely not real.
How disappointing.
Yeah. Yeah. Alrighty. Well, that will conclude this stream for today. Thank you all for coming. What?
Beam review?
No. It's been 2 hours. We're done.
All right.
We'll do a meme stream
next Monday.
How about we do a meme stream Wednesday?
Well, it'll be Wednesday.
We'll do a meme stream this Wednesday.
Well, it'll be Wednesday.
What?
Like, other than a meme stream, like, you get to the memes pretty fast. So, like, what's the substance beyond memes?
I can talk about Star Wars.
Yeah, let's talk about Star Wars. Yeah, let's talk about the Star Wars lineup and maybe the Rise of Skywalker and like the Rise of Skywalker roundtable discussion. I know that a couple people wanted to be on that. Tarek.
What a boring disaster that was.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so Wednesday's the plan then.
I guess I can stream it on your channel before we start it to get some people new context to the movie.
Yeah,
that would certainly help.
Hey, it's okay. Hey, Neph, how you been? You've been really tired. You just been really tired.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
I didn't want to disrupt the conversation though, so I just muted myself.
Alrighty. Well, we will end the stream here. Thank you all for coming, and we'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Neat.
Holy shit. Okay, we're going.